This is our experiment of reactions with acids and bases.
Okay, first off we'll go over some background of acids and bases. Acids and bases are mainly used to clean out stains in an object. When you're dealing with like greasy foods or like a food stain, it'd be better to use a base because it lifts the stain right out. And with an acid, it'd be better to use an acid on like grease stains and stuff like that. We chose pomegranate juice and mustard because in mustard there is a spice called turmeric, and that's what causes the staining in mustard. And in pomegranate juice, the seeds and the juice are a bright red color, and that is what stains your stuff when it gets on there. And we picked 3 acids and 3 bases to use for this project. We picked for the acids vinegar, mouthwash, and lemon juice. And for the bases, we chose bleach, nail polish remover, and soap. And the reason we chose bleach is because stains comes from a chemical called chromophores, and bleach, when the chlorine in bleach is mixed with water, it reacts with the hydrochloric acid, and the oxygen that reacts with it, the chromophores, the oxygen lifts it right out, and so it becomes nothing. Our problem for this project was, will an acid or base most likely take out the stain of a sheet? And our hypothesis was, if a substance is combined with a base, then the base will remove the substance better than an acid would. The materials we needed for this project, we used 2 sheets, vinegar, mouthwash, lemon juice, bleach, nail polish remover, soap, pomegranate juice, mustard, and 7 glasses in which we poured all the substances in. For our procedure, first we poured 2 teaspoons of each liquid into a glass, and we made sure to label which one was which. And then we poured 2 teaspoons of pomegranate juice on the sheet and let it dry for about a couple minutes, 5 minutes. And then we took each substance and poured it on the stain of the pomegranate juice. We labeled the sheet on so we knew which stain was reacting with the substance, and we let that dry for about 5 minutes. And during these 5 minutes, we observed any changes that were made during the time. And then we repeated the experiment, except instead of pomegranate juice, we used mustard.
Okay, so part of the reason we used pomegranate juice first was because it's really dark and it really makes a nice stain that you can easily see. The first substance we used was vinegar. What vinegar did was really spread all the stain and just make it bigger and messier. Vinegar is an acid. The next acid we used was mouthwash. The mouthwash was green, and it kind of just went right over the pink pomegranate juice and made it nice, little bit of have a green pink tint, not a very pretty color. That was also an acid. And then our last acid was lemon juice. Lemon juice didn't do much. It basically just mixed with the pink and made it have a nice lemony smell to it. The next one we used our bases. We did bleach. Bleach, it was like magic. You pour it on and bam, it's gone. It was pretty awesome. And then we used nail polish remover. Nail polish remover kind of made it a little bit lighter, but it didn't do much really. And that was also a base. And the last base we used was soap. Now the soap took out the stain, but it was really thick, and without putting water on it, you could just really see the greenness of the soap. So we basically got a big green blob, but there was no more pink. And then we repeated this experiment with mustard, because mustard is a nice stain. You can see it easily on clothing, or especially on a white sheet. And we got basically the same results with mustard that we did for the pomegranate juice, except with the bleach there was still a little bit of clumps of mustard just because it was all crusty, but all the bases really did take a lot of it out, and then the acids just didn't do their job, didn't take much out, but that's what we expected it. So we got basically what we expected. And in conclusion, that our hypothesis was correct. And a base will remove a substance better than an acid. Now, for some of our limitations, the green mouthwash and the green soap really weren't that great because we couldn't really tell what color they were at the end, but it was mostly green and you can honestly see it, but it wasn't as good as it just being white, so we can see that it's completely just white at the end. If we did this a couple other times, maybe we would use a white mouthwash or a white bleach or a white soap. And also that the mustard was clumpy, so you couldn't always get it all out because you just had a little clump of mustard, and there's nothing you could do about that. It's just how mustard is sometimes. And another thing with the mustard trial is that the sheet was a little clumpy in some places because we used a bed sheet from the same sets of the bed sheets, but this one was the one that goes over the bed, so it had a little bit of stretchy pieces at the bottom, so they kind of soaked in kind of differently, but it didn't make that much of a difference. And that is our labs of reactions with